I can't condemn the killing of Israeli babies and then condone the killing of Palestinian babies. I can't do that. Now, there's some who do it. I'm not casting aspersions on them. I'm saying to you that as a matter of conscience, as a moral imperative, I've got to see something for those people, because I voted for over $50 billion in aid to Israel since I've been in Congress. And I don't regret my votes, but here's what I do regret. I regret that the bombs that have been used, some of that artillery, those munitions, they were used because we provided funding to the Israelis, and they have taken that, and I don't think it was used judiciously. So I'm concerned about those babies.
Well, it does appear we're going to be providing quite a bit more. Congressman Al Green is joining us live from his hospital bed right now after making that surprise appearance last evening during the impeachment vote in the House. Congressman, I'm wondering, before you leave us, if your doctors okayed that, if they thought it was a good idea for you to leave. Because, Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene are claiming that they were hiding you and that the Democrats somehow pulled a fast one at the last minute.
Thank you for addressing the issue. There was no trickery involved. I spoke to my physicians here when I saw on television, I'm lying here in the hospital bed, and I see that they're going to bring up this vote. So I talked to the staff here at the hospital. I talked to the physicians, my surgical team. I talked to the administration, and I had to negotiate with them. I had to sign a document explaining to me the possible harm that could befall me. I did it, and I called Speaker Jeffries. Yes, they were reluctant to do it, I will be candid, because they were concerned about me, and I love them for being concerned. But I had to cast this vote. This is my job. So I talked to Speaker Jeffries. I called him, and I explained to him that I was about to take an Uber. My staff was trying to get an Uber so that I could get to the Capitol. And he, first of all, said, Al, your health is the first thing that you have to consider. And after I convinced him that I was going to come, he said, well, look, we'll provide transportation. And that's the extent of his involvement. He did not demand that I come. He did not request that I come. He did not beseech. He didn't implore. He said, if you're coming, we'll give you transportation. I guess as a leader, he felt embarrassed that one of his members is coming from a hospital in an Uber to vote. So when I get there, I go into the attending physician's area, and they had a bed for me. So I went to bed. I was reclined. I was in bed, and they were checking my heart. They were checking my pulse rate, if you will, checking to make sure my blood pressure was in order. I had two nurses attending me while I was there, and I was waiting on the Mayorkas vote. And I'm sorry if they were thrown off because I didn't come up for another vote, but I didn't come for that vote. I didn't want to make a spectacle by going out there and sitting in a wheelchair in the midst of all of those people who were gathered and having it become more about my sitting there in a wheelchair than the purpose for my being there. So when I got there, they pushed me in. I took my card and I put my card in that terminal myself. There are people who are saying that I didn't really vote. I did. I put the card in the terminal and I voted. And after I voted, David Scott, who was seated right near me, said, Al, you just tied the vote. They can't impeach him. I had no idea when I put the card in that would happen. And after that was said to me, I was waiting on the next vote. I voted, which happened right afterward, not right, because they were looking for me or something, I'm told. So I put the card in, I voted the second time, and I left. But I was not pulled to the hill. I didn't have a leadership demanding that I come. In fact, I saw Speaker Pelosi. She will always be Speaker Pelosi to me. I saw Speaker Pelosi as I was going into the attending physician's office, Dr. Monahan. He arranged for me to have that. This was a part of my deal so that I could get to the Hill. So I was taken care of there with great professional hands. I was taken care of here. And it was all done to get me there to cast my vote. And here's why. Because I know this secretary. Baby at Texas Children's Hospital that needed help. The hospital got in touch with me and said this child had been taken across the border. He was not a citizen, in an area with his mom where he had no support system. And they needed to have him back because he was a dialysis patient. I contacted the secretary. This process of parole is what got that child back and saved his life, in my opinion.
Yeah, I understand.
And for people to say that parole is being abused, this is not a gate to let the world in. It's a means by which people who genuinely need some help can get it.